outside with a cookie in her hand. I mean, just knocked out. So that showed me, hey, I did my job, dressing my daughter properly, so she was good to go. Here she is again in my life. This is in the mountains of North Carolina, I believe. And again, you know, I live by this. I'm not just talking about it. We're here, we're dressed in layers, and she was a little younger there. But there I am with her, again in layers. And but this was in the Grand Tetons, where we were just kind of hanging out. And you need them all times of the year. That was the summer. I'm going to leave you, let's see here, just a second. Food for thoughts. Okay, I already covered this, but think about your food as fuel. And let me talk about this kind of slow. Think of your food as fuel, your fuel as calories, and your calories as currency. Because remember, guys, we are that shelter. And our food we have stored up is precious, and it can be measured in calories. So can you afford to burn this currency, or burn these calories? Because you can just, you know, that's just a total waste. But with that said, I don't want you to go, wait a second. No, I'm not going to take out the trash today, because that's going to burn some calories right there. I got to conserve them. That's not an excuse to get out of those things. But anyway, the big picture is here, that everything, because I know we talked a little bit about food, quite a bit about food, and I'm just trying to tie this in. I should have some more photos. Okay, here we go. This right here, this is me, and I want to show, we're going to talk about cotton t-shirts. This is something that you can't do in cotton. I'm the one with the silver helmet to the left, and you know, I'm dressed properly in layers, and if I had tried to do this with just being improperly dressed, wouldn't have made it. So this is kind of a picture of progressing. We're going up a little bit faster here, and yep, and there it is again. So all these things were done being properly dressed, and I tell you, I got schooled so many times ice climbing because I was so many things in one. I mean, the weather's always changing. You're always getting cold, wet, hot from, you know, just burning up the calories, and then getting back down and have to deal with it. And so I got kind of schooled on how to do this stuff, kind of like the School of Hard Knocks. But let's see, we're going to go over real quick some do's and don'ts. And I'm sorry, I wish this were a little bit better, but I don't know what happened. But anyway, cotton kills. It's an outdoor industry saying for us who are out in this outdoor field. It absorbs moisture, and it doesn't really take it away. And that's great for the summertime if you really need to feel like you got to do this. And it can also leave you wet or chilled, and it puts you at risk for muscle fatigue, cramps, hypothermia, and death. And with that said, please go buy an East Coast Patriot t-shirt, if you will. But let's see, I'm trying to, not quite as planned here. I want to go over a couple more things. But let me just break this up a little bit. Not to discredit some of you who maybe just drove right around the block. I'm so glad that you're here. You mean as much as those who drove several hours to be here. But let's skip things. Raise your hand if you drove or traveled, however you got here, 5 hours or more. Raise your hand. Wow, quite a bit. Okay, hands down, 6 hours or more. Wow, 7 hours or more. Keep them up. 8, 9. Still out here. 10 hours or more. 11 hours or more. Wait, were you guys at the 11-hour mark? Anybody else? Wow, that's great. And it worked out perfect. You get a t-shirt. Thank you so much for making the effort to come out here. Just my little meeting that I did not too long ago, a couple months ago, I mean, it was amazing. It had like, it was like, I counted 52, somebody counted 60, but who really knows? But it was amazing. I mean, we had some folks who drove all the way out from Ohio, just to hear what we had to say, and I mean, daggone if he's not here again today. So I mean, it's amazing. So he's joined us back here. So today we're getting about that time. Okay, sorry, I thought you were signaling. Okay, let's see here real fast. Man, Prepper was supposed to leave some water up here. Man, we gave you one thing to do, just one thing. Underneath. To East Coast Patriot, from Southern Prepper 1, here's your water sucker. Oh. Hold on. I got my eye on you. Hold on just a second. instead of survival because I wasn't really planning on this PowerPoint messing up. All right, here we go. But real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and sum this all up, is that I started this RAW/SHTF school, and I'd like to encourage some of you to try this out, please. It's going to be in South Carolina, kind of near Aiken area, even kind of close to Augusta. It's a little small town called Saluda. And we're trying to get folks on board, people who are just maybe waking up or who've had some experience. We can all learn from this. But what I'm hoping to do is we can get folks to come. And so we're going to put these folks in a very stressful, hopefully very stressful situation for everyone. And we're going to have marauders who are going to come. Southern Preppers agreed to be there, at least this first one coming up, and I'm sure some other ones in the past or in the future in Suchville too. But so our goal is to get some marauders together and just wreak havoc, try to, on some of these guys, so we can all test our strengths and test our weaknesses. And I mean, we have some highly qualified people. I've got someone who is also like a SWAT team captain to come along and teach defense. So this is not just a Joe average thing. This will be testing your weak spots. And so anyway, that's one thing we'd like. That's one thing we'd really like to try and do. And we just encourage you guys to do that, as well as a hands-on survival course where you can bring your own bug-out bags and your own personal gear. We can talk you through it, and there's no reason to go into scrap, whatever you have, just because somebody else said so. I understand things are tight on a budget. Let's work with what you have. So this is kind of how we'd like to do things. And the Mime Chef will be helping out quite a bit with that as well. And anyway, and I have monthly meetings, so if you have not subscribed to me, please do, because I have them in my area, which is, like I said, South Carolina. I'd love to have you. And I want to leave you with one thing. I know we've talked a lot about, and then I'm done. So I know that we have talked so much about preparation and mindset and water and these things, but this is kind of the general rule of thumb that I live by. So it doesn't matter about the provisions I have for my family, or the provisions I don't have for my family, because my provisions come from the Lord. So I'd like to ask you all to remember that for yourselves. Maybe it'll come in handy. But that's it. Thanks. Sorry to